I think I'll get started with the score slides. And so good evening again and welcome. I did put in the chat that you will be receiving a link to the recording. So you don't have to try to take notes or take pictures or anything like that. So before we turn you over to our wonderful our wonderful presentation for this evening, I'm going to tell you a little bit about SCORE. And again, our mission is to foster vibrant small businesses through mentoring and education. Our hope is that every one of you as small business owners get the support that you need to be successful either in starting your business or growing your business. Small businesses drive the national economy as well as the Cleveland economy by creating small businesses and jobs and hopefully some wealth as well. So small businesses are over 95% of all the businesses that exist. SCORE is a large network of free volunteer mentors. We are all across the nation, from Los Angeles to New York to Dallas to Madison, Wisconsin. We are all over the United States. We have mentors from all different industries, all different experiences. So if you have a business that we in the Cleveland office can't help you with, we can find one of the other mentors among the 10,000 that we have who should be able to help you. So we have clients from all different walks of life. 10% of our entrepreneurs are veterans, and I'm very pleased to say that more than 50% of our clients are women. So women are taking over the business world. We offer mentoring, which we are doing both remotely and some in person as well. The same with the webinars and the training that we're doing. We are currently doing some in person, but most of them still being done via Zoom or some other online platform. One of our greatest resources is our website, and I encourage you to go there and look at the tools and templates that are available to you. There are also a listing of all the webinars that are upcoming, as well as recordings of all the webinars that we've been doing. So the one that we're doing tonight will be live streamed, like all the ones that we're doing now. So we don't charge for our services. We get support from the Small Business Administration, and we also get support from a large number of Cleveland businesses that want to see entrepreneurs be successful. This is a snapshot of our website. You can go and click on Find a Mentor if you don't have one. There is a small form that you have to fill out. And if you can be as clear as possible about what type of business you're interested in, it will help us match you up with a mentor with the right background. And again, you can see all of our workshops and also browse the library where there are articles, business plans, all kinds of tools that will help you get your business going. So I am going to stop sharing and turn it over to Mrs. McKee, who will do our presentation this evening. So welcome, Lindsay.
Hello, hello, and hello to everyone who is joining us both in the internet and also here in this Zoom meeting. Hi, hello, everyone. Very excited to be here with you today. We are going to be talking about sort of SEO stuff and getting found online. And as you all know, because this is my jam, I love doing it this way. If you have not yet, I appreciate everyone who is saying hello. And I want you to end the chat, tell me who you are, what your business is, and where you are, because I always want to know. I'm just like nosy like that. I want to know where in Ohio you are. And if you're not in Ohio, I definitely want to know where you are, because where are you? That's so much fun. Like, we have people who come in from all over. And so I absolutely want to know where you are and get a good idea of what your business is and what you're up to. Now, if you are new here, you might be thinking, why does Lindsay want this information? It's so that I can use you as examples. I really want to use you and your websites and your businesses as examples. So if you give me all that information, it'll make it a lot easier for me to do a little bit of some like information sharing with you about your business, right? So, okay, Tasia, thank you so much. I've lived in Arizona. I'm not from Arizona, but I lived in Tucson for 2 years when I was in graduate school. So neighbor, hello, howdy neighbor. And so, yeah, tell me all the stuff so that I can help you out in the chat. Let's go. So while you guys are doing that, thank you, David. Thank you, Tasia. Keep it coming. I am going to get us started. And I'm going to warn everyone, y'all, I am an outdoor person. I was outdoors like for several hours today, just working and like getting stuff done. And as a function of that, my nose is full of soot because I didn't even think about the fact that we were under an air quality advisement. So I might have to blow my nose at some point during this workshop. I am not ill. I am awesome. but goodness gracious, I like have the stuffiest nose right now from being outdoors for several hours. So forgive me. I'm still fine. I'm fine. I promise. Okay. Yeah. Keep it coming. Keep all the information coming. I love it. It's in the chat. I'm Lindsay. Hi. It's nice to meet you. I am your Grow with Google digital coach. Apparently, wherever you are, I am the Grow with Google digital coach for Ohio. I am also the founder and CEO of Predictable Results Marketing. And you can reach me at any of the information there on the screen. I always tell people, go ahead, reach out. If you have a question, let me know. And then some of you do, and then you realize that I wasn't kidding when I said you can email me and I will respond. So I actually helped someone recently who didn't know how to find their Google My Business or their Google Business profile. They couldn't find it. And I was like, let us find it together. So I helped them find their profile and locate what email address it was under and all that jazz. And it was all because they emailed me and got on my calendar. So there's no shame at all in you reaching out and having me help you figure things out and find things. So go ahead. Sorry. Apparently my nose was not the only thing disturbed by being outside. Like I said, I'm just going to have to deal with it. So today's workshop is all about search engine optimization. And I love the fact that you guys are giving me your businesses in the chat, because I can actually think about already, just from some of the businesses that you have named, several things that you can get out of search engine optimization. So when we think about search engine optimization, a lot of times people think really high level, like I'm going to be fancy and use keyword research and blah, blah, blah. And I'm here to tell you, it isn't even remotely that complicated. And the reason why it's not is because a lot of the things that are going to help you to get really optimized with your business are just things that you can do based on this question that is on the screen right now. How do people find the things that they want and they need? They Google them. But I want you to remember, for your own sake, that people don't Google smart questions. They Google the best, most dumbest questions on the planet. And it is awesome. It's actually really good for us as small business owners, because if you can think of what people are Googling for your business to find you, even if they don't know who you are, if you can think of what those things are, then you will have significantly higher likelihood of success. Like just amazingly higher likelihood of success. We just have to realize that when people are Googling, they're not Googling the name of your business. They're not Googling TLC mobility transport. They're not Googling that. They're Googling other things. And so what we're going to focus on today is actually helping you to figure out, what exactly are people Googling? Like, what are they putting into the internet? And then how can we leverage that for success for your business. So right now, and this is huge for a good portion of you, including the last two businesses, Thad, all of you who have location-based businesses, I want you to think about the fact that 80% increase. There has been an 80% increase in the term local attached to business searches, which means that people have increased the use of the term local and whatever other thing they're searching for. So if they're searching for, hi Elizabeth, if they're searching for countertops or sinks like Thad's company, a lot of people are going to say, whatever the term is they Google, which we'll get to in a second, near me, or they'll say local, or they'll say in Kinsman or in novelty. Like they'll actually name a neighborhood or they'll name a location. This is huge. And then in addition to that, 61% of consumers are now buying things online in order to pick them up in the store. So a lot of people are saying, since COVID, a lot of people want to be back in person. And that is for the most part true. But the reality is that we all still love our convenience. And so we might still want to be in person, but we absolutely adore the convenience that we got from being able to do curbside pickup or having something ready for you so that all you have to do, you don't have to stand in line, you don't have to do any of the other things, you just walk into the store and pick it up. And so there are more and more of us who are actually doing those behaviors. So whatever it is that you're offering, you want to be thinking about the fact that the majority of people, the vast majority of people, are doing their searches like this. They're asking for local things, and a lot of times they're asking for the dreaded hybrid experience where they want to have part of the experience be online and then the other part of the experience be in person. And then what we have to do is to acknowledge the fact that that's what they want and give it to them, right? That is really it. Okay, so let me skip past this video. I don't know why I always have a video in my presentation that I cannot view. So let's talk about how search works. We're going to go through that. We're going to talk a little bit about optimization, mostly going to talk about the lowest hanging fruit, the thing that you can do to get yourself found right now. And let's talk about search. So how does search work? The very first thing that happens is someone types words into that Google search bar. When they type words into the search bar, the thing that happens on the back end is very complicated, but uncomplicated. And then the end result is this. So they're going to get some sort of search result. So let me look at some of your businesses and we'll do a little quick search, right? So we have Tasia. Okay, I'm going to use Tasia as an example. So Tasia's business is a life coaching business. Now, you might be thinking, do people just type in life coach into the internet? Well, let's find out. So this is your basic Google search. I'm going to type in life coach. And you see, I didn't even have to type the word near me in. It's the second one in there, life coach near me. And then after that, we've got Cleveland, we've got versus therapist, we've got all sorts of things. So I'm going to go with near me. And then what happens? We're going to get an advertisement right here at the top, and then another ad and another ad. But the next thing that happens is that we get a map. And we get Ryan Mayer, ADHD life coach. Amazing. First thing that comes up. And so what we want to make sure that we're doing, if we're Tasia, now Tasia's in Arizona, so she was clearly not going to come up in my search because I am here in the good old Ohio. And so she's not on my map anywhere because this map is just of Northeast Ohio. But what Tasia wants to happen is if someone does type in the term life coach near me, Tasia wants to come up. How does Tasia get found here? The answer is actually pretty simple. We're going to get to it in a minute. We're not going to talk about that right now. I want you to know why the results came up the way that they came up. So let's talk about it. Behind the scenes, when I typed in life coach near me, basically Google has an entire copy of the internet and they scan it. They scanned the entire copy of the internet. They rank ordered everything that was related to life coach near me. And what they did was gave me, Lindsay Sims McKee, the very specific results that you and I both saw. Those results are I am basically the only person who would get those exact results. Everybody else who searches is going to get a different set of results. All the way down to the fact that the first coach that came up was an ADHD coach. This is because Lindsay has been on a journey of discovery and the internet knows that. So Google knows what's going on with me. And it's like, wait a second, I think she's the kind of person who might need an ADHD coach. And so because they know that, they're serving me up very specific results. So if someone was in the room next to me and searched life coach near me, even if they're in the same house using the same internet, they would get a different result. Why? Because they're a different person who has a different internet history, and because they're on a different computer. Now, if someone used my computer, I'm on my own computer right now. If someone was logged into my computer and used my computer to search, they would get my results. So that's just so we're not confused. If you're on like a library computer or some computer that is public domain, meaning a lot of people use it, you're not going to get particularly specific results. But if you use your phone, which is yours and has all the specific results for you, or if you use your own computer or anything resembling a computer that you own, you're going to get results that are very specific to you. And so will everyone else. Now, how is this an advantage? This is a huge advantage for every single one of us, mostly because Google knows your customer very, very well. All you have to do really is tell Google enough information about you as a business owner for it to know that you are the answer to someone else's problem. So that's the real rub here. That's the thing we're going to be talking about. So if you have a countertop and sink business, if you have a mobile transportation business, if you have a landscaping or land maintenance business, whatever it is, you want to make sure that you're giving Google enough information about your business for them to serve you up to the people that they know you're a good fit for. Does everyone understand that? Do you all understand what I just said there? This is not magic. At this point, you're no longer doing what we used to do, where it was all about trying to, as people used to try to game the system and try to get as many keywords in their website as possible and try to get, no. We're not trying to do that anymore. What we're really trying to do is make the best representation of what we actually do and who our customer actually is, so that when our customer is searching and Google has a copy of our website out there, it knows, oh, Tasia's business is the exact answer to this person's problems. Tasia does these things, and this person has been searching for these things, and it matches right up. Here you go. And they serve Tasia up to the person who is looking for them. That's what we want. That's what we all want. So how do we go about that? Search engine optimization is the process of making your website do exactly what I just said there, representing you and your business so well that Google can say, I know exactly who to serve this website up to. The internet has gotten so much easier to use. We just have to make sure that we're doing our part to get found when those searches happen. And more importantly, we want to get found when those searches happen organically, meaning I don't want anyone here paying money for this service. I want you to do this for free. I want you to use all of the free things in order to make that happen. So what are the free things that we can start doing? So the first thing that we can start doing is thinking about what those terms are that people are going to use to visit our website. So we want to make our websites more visible by kind of knowing what those terms are. We need to also connect with our customers actively, meaning that not just on the website that we have, but also on our social media channels and other places that we have access to our customers, we want to be connecting with them. All of these things are going to increase the likelihood that we have sales. Very, very simple. We just want to increase the likelihood that we're going to have sales. In order to do that, there's 3 very specific things that we can do. The first thing is make sure our website is good. Now, our website being good, it says publish great content. I'm going to tell you the word great is subjective. It is subjective. It is subjective. Mostly because who cares how great it is? The reality is it just needs to be really descriptive, and it needs to be good or great for the audience that you're targeting. So let me see, whose website do I want to go to? Okay, I'll let you guys decide. Someone put your website in the chat. If you put your website in the chat and you want me to, I'll look at your website and we'll talk about the content that's on your website. There we go. Nuria was like me immediately. So I'm going to pick Nuria. Okay, Nuria, I'm going to go to your website. Now, why am I going to your website? I'm not even going to look and see what Nuria does. I'm just going to look at the website. It is ischoolforthefuture.org. Okay. And keep them coming if you want to add your website, because I might do more than one. So go ahead and put your website in there if you're interested. So iSchool for the Future. This website I have never been to before in my life. So this is not something that I'm doing based on like me and Nuria having a conversation. I have no idea what Nuria does for a living and what this business is. I am going to look at it and see if I can match up with what the customer actually wants. Now, if I can do that, then that means this website is doing a great job. If it is, great. If it's not, there's going to be some things that Nuria might want to do to increase the likelihood that she gets found. So we have learn, dream, succeed, boost student success, and create future-ready learning communities, not by chance, but by design. Okay, so there's a couple things. I have a really good idea of what she does, but there's some things that I'm not sure about. So we have boost student success. And then this here picture is of a kid that looks to be about 6, maybe 7 years old. So this 6-year-old makes me think that Nuria's business is all about children, maybe kids between the ages of like 4 and let's say 12 or 11. Now, if that's accurate, this is doing a great job. But if her age range is not 6 or 4 to 11, this might not be getting that, like hitting that nail on the head. Okay, so Nuria says I'm right. This is about elementary school kids. Now, the internet doesn't do anything but read. Google does not do anything but read words. So me, the human person who is looking at this, was able to understand based on what I'm seeing that this was for elementary school kids. But the internet doesn't know that. And the first thing the internet is going to read on your website is this: learn, dream, succeed. And the next thing it's going to read is boost student success and create future-ready learning communities. Now, if I was Nuria, what I would add in here is something descriptive about the age range that she works with, because the internet doesn't do anything but read, and these words don't say that. So when someone says tutor or help for my 5th grader, the internet doesn't know that Nuria is the answer to that question based on just this alone, right? Does that make sense? If everyone if someone typed in the search term like 5th grader needs math help or something like that, because I told you people make bad searches. They just make up words and put them in the internet. When they say something like that, my 12-year-old needs help with whatever, right? They say those words. Your website needs to be able to tell Google that that's what you do. Now, Nuria is asking a great question. Can I describe the image for the internet? Of course you can describe the image for the internet. And the way you would do that is using something called alt text. Every single image on your website should have what is called alternative text. That alternative text is what tells the internet what this is a picture of, because without it, the internet has no idea what this is a picture of. So it cannot help you deliver this to the right people because it doesn't know what this is a picture of. So Nuria just kind of accidentally stumbled upon one of the best secrets out there, which is make sure that every image on your website has that alternative text. Now we've got just a homepage. I haven't even looked at anything else. I haven't scrolled. I haven't touched anything else on our website. And we already know that Nuria is on the right path. But This here, the second tip, use page titles and descriptions very well. This is one of the things that a lot of us don't do very well. So if we look at her page title, it says, iSchool for the Future, Learn, Dream, Succeed, which is what this says here. Now, the internet doesn't know anything. Remember, the internet is dumb. It only knows the words. The words learn, dream, succeed look great here. And I wouldn't even suggest you change this. I would suggest you make this sentence a little bit more, add in some numbers, like for your elementary school student, something along those lines. But just so that the internet knows, and so that it's not a question for anybody who doesn't look at that picture and automatically see an elementary schooler. You know, like there's some people who would look at that picture and be like, I don't know, what is she, 2? Like people don't know. So I'm a woman who has been around children my whole life. So I can look at a kid and know exactly how old they are. But there are plenty of people who haven't had that experience and don't know the ages of children by looking at them. And so you might want to include something that has like age range or something like that. But she can also do that little alt text thing. But the other thing is right up here in the top bar. You guys probably can't even see this, but when I hover over the very, very top of the website, it says iSchool for the Future, Learn, Dream, Succeed. That is literally the first thing the internet is going to read. It is literally the first thing. And because that is the first thing they're going to read, we need that to be very descriptive, very, very, very descriptive. That is the title of this page. Now, it is good that Nuria's title doesn't say nothing, which some people just say home. But the reality is the title could say anything. And so what you want that title to do is all the heavy lifting. You want the title to say what it is that you actually want people to know about your business from the first second they land on your website. So I want you all, everyone here in the chat, to tell me what is the one thing that you want people to know the first second they land on the website. Go ahead, type it into the chat. We are going to talk about it because that's the thing that needs to be on your homepage. That is the thing that needs to be the title of your homepage. It needs to be the first thing that people see. So put it in the chat. What is it that you want people to know first? Okay. So Casey is in-home breastfeeding and postpartum support. Casey, that is so clear. Amazing. I want everybody to give me something Casey like here, like in-home breastfeeding and postpartum support. That says all the things I need to know about what Casey does. Beer, wine, seltzer, homebrew, making kits. Yes, Robert. This is what I'm talking about. Getting super, super specific. Complete solutions general contractor. I like that. Okay, so throw pillar designer. You guys are getting it. Yes. Okay, so you're getting the idea. The idea here is that you have to say something specific. Coaching and professional learning for elementary school teachers. Nuria, I was thinking this was for parents. This is for teachers. This makes even more sense now. So now you really need to change that up, because if I was reading it, got what you do for a living, and misunderstood your customer, Google is probably doing the same thing. Isn't that silly? So we don't want there to be any confusion about who your customer is. And so if your customer is teachers, then I would make sure somewhere in here, very first thing it puts is for teachers, around teachers, because teachers are the best thing on the planet. Whatever you want to put in there, make sure that it is that, like, not by chance, but by design. I love that. It could say for teachers, not by chance, but by design. Just add those like for teachers in there. Bang, you're done. That's it. You can go home. And so, but that would be a way for you to make sure that the internet knows exactly who you're talking to. Okay, so you guys get the idea. I have a feeling that you're getting where we're going. Now, the last thing, it's not the last thing, but it is really, really going to help you make your website useful to people, but also useful to the internet, because remember, Google and Bing and all the other search engines don't know how to do anything but read. So if you don't give it words, it doesn't know what's happening, but also it doesn't know how to interpret things that are out of order. So what you want to make sure is that your website is very well organized. So if we go back to Nuria, she has her homepage here, About Us, which is great because the first page everyone goes to on your website is your About Us. It doesn't matter who you are and what you sell. About Us is the first thing. And then programs. And we have teaching transformation programs, STEAM Sell Approach. Those are the two programs that she offers. It's relatively clear that those are the programs. It's not exactly clear what they are. That's fine. We can get to those pages and see, and then blog and donate. This here is very good organization. Very, very good. Just a matter of helping people to know exactly what it is that you do with the programs. You have a blog for them to read more, and then a button for them to donate. Now, we have a little bit of a challenge though, because right underneath this banner, we have two buttons. We've got Join Us and About Us. Now, the reason why we have two buttons, I can completely believe I know why. But as for organization, I have no idea what the Join Us is for. What are we joining? Am I joining your community? Am I joining my own community? What is happening? What am I joining? And then the About Us is just a repeat of this lovely orange button here. So my question to Nuria would be, which of these two things do you actually want people to do and why? And then give them a reason on the website. So if you also out there in the internet have multiple buttons, or you have something on your website that is going to have people have an option, first of all, the options need to be equal. Let me give you an example of what equal options are. Or middle school teachers, she could have a button that says K through 9 and then 9 through 12. Those two buttons would be completely equal, meaning that if you were a K through 12 or K through 9 or K through 8, I should say, teacher, you would click on that button and it makes complete sense. There's nowhere else for you to go. And if you were a 9 through 12 teacher, you would click on that button. It's like super clear. They're equal. You're just going to go on your path. That's for you, right? Or if Nuria's website was aimed at both teachers and administrators, she could have a button that says teachers, one that's like, teachers, click here, and then another one that says administrators, click here. Those are equal activities, meaning that if you're a teacher, you're going to click here and you're going to go to pages that are all about teachery stuff. And if you're an administrator, you're going to click here and you're going to go to a page about administratory stuff, and it makes complete sense and it's equal. But Join Us versus About Us are two different things, even though they both sound like they're similar because there's two us's in there. But an About Us page is just a page about my business. It's not about you at all. It's not about the journey or anything. It's just about my business. Versus a Join Us is a call to action. So the call to action here is for me to do a thing. I love calls to action. I want you to have them on your website. They are amazing, but you don't want to match a call to action with a call to procrastination, because with this About Us button, we're going to ask people to don't do anything proactive just now. Read more about me first. Do we really want them to do that? No, we want them to join. So since we want them to join, we may want to remove this About Us button. This goes to organization, like directly to organization. What is it that you want people to do? How do you want them to do it? And only ask them to do that one thing. If you want to create pathways on your website, because maybe you have multiple types of customers, because I am looking here at some of your businesses and some of you have clearly defined multiple tracks. Like you have a track here for this type of customer, a track here for that. You might put two buttons, but only thing on that button is going to be customer number 1, customer number 2. That's it. Everything else, it needs to go somewhere else because you want to stay organized, right? The website needs to be clear for anyone who's using it, no matter how genius level or not they are, right? We want it to be very, very simple. Now, in addition to that, you want to make sure that your website is based on what people are actually searching for. So I'm going to use, I think it was Tasia. If I'm wrong, Tasia, you just have to tell me. But I think it was Tasia who had the life coaching business. He's just like way up in the chat now. And so for Tasia, I'm looking at the term life coach and wondering, if Tasia's a life coach, Is life coach the right term for her to be using on her website? There are ways to find this out. The best way to find out which terms are very popular, maybe even in Arizona, if she works mostly with people in person, then what Tasia can do is go to trends.google.com and type in her term. So I'm going to type in the term life coach. And when I type in the search term life coach, I'm going to get a lot of information. This here is telling me the interest in this term over time. So over the course of a year, it looks like, yeah? No, this is a day. Let me change the time to the past 12 months. Okay, so over the course of the past 12 months, you see the variation change there? That's crazy. So over the course of 12 months, this search term is at the top, meaning that the volume for this search term is relatively high all the time. It is at 75 or above in the calculation of out of 100, like 75 out of 100. You can think about it like it's percentages. It's not particularly special. The number really is just a measurement of how much people are searching this term over a period of time. So with this term life coach, very highly searched, it looks like, okay, Tasia's going to be like, I could have told you this. It looks like this term is most popular in January. Why? Because everyone is trying to change their whole life at the beginning of the year, right? And so that is why that term is the highest in January. And so if we look at a term like this, then that means that in January, Tasia's website needs to be all over the term life coach. Like, you need to have it everywhere. You need to be using it in social media. You used to be using that term all the time because it is the most popular time of the year for the term life coach. But in addition to that, we can scroll down and actually look and see if there are other terms that people are also using. Now, we've got life coach terms and conditions. Well, this is a lot about personal narratives. I love this. When you get a result like this, so what's happening here is that there is probably either a classroom somewhere or a group of people who are searching a term related to something specific that has the term life coach in it. And so right now we're getting a breakout, meaning there's a lot of people who are searching a very specific, very long keyword, like, did Coach Baker die in real life? That is completely unrelated to life coach, but it is Coach Baker real life. And so the terms are coming up together. We don't care about that, though. That's not what we care about. So what we can do is actually go to the next page. And the next page, you can actually start like moving through these pages to see which terms are going to be good terms for you, potentially other than life coach. Now we've got life and business coach. We also have over here mental health counselor. We've got lifestyle guru. We have all of these other mindset, young adult. There are other terms that people are using along with life coach. Now, that does not mean that you should not use life coach. It just means that we have options. And that's what we really want to do, is look and see if there are alternative terms that people are using that we really want to be using for our website. Yes, so you can. So Casey is asking the question, is Google Trends looking at a term specifically, or is it looking at it globally? Like, how is it looking at this term? It is looking at the term, unless you tell it otherwise, in the United States, because I'm in the United States. So when I look here, it says United States, but I believe I can type in Arizona. And so I can get really specific and say, I want to see how people are using this term in Arizona. It's going to give me feedback for Phoenix and Tucson. It is also going to give me feedback on the other terms that people are using specifically in Arizona. So if you have a business that is very, very geographically located, like some of you have landscaping businesses or the countertop and cabinets, when you're looking for terms like countertops or cabinets. Maybe even you're looking for specific types of terms like Korean or Corel or whatever, like a brand name or marble. You can look very specifically at Ohio instead of looking at all of the United States, where you're going to get a skewed result from California or Oregon that is completely unrelated to what people in Ohio are searching for. Great question, Casey. So making sure that you are actually making your term related to where you are, especially because I've already told you that the majority of people right now, 80% increase in search based on the terms near me. And so if you have a location-based business, you are going to want to know which terms people are using, and you're also going to want to know which terms people are using in your geographic area, okay? So you can compare. So we've got lifestyle coach and we got life coach, but what about lifestyle coach? How is that term different? Now, what we're seeing, and I'm still in Arizona, is that the term lifestyle coach is like non-existent. No one is typing that in the internet in Arizona. Not happening. You see here, it's all blue, no red. This is amazing. So if Tasha was thinking, well, maybe I should switch it up and change the term, don't change it to lifestyle coach, because that is not a term that people are using in Arizona at all to refer to what you do. And so you want to do that type of searching or that type of looking to see what is happening with your term, the one that you're thinking that people are searching for. What's happening with that specific term, maybe even specifically in your geographic area. Now, after class, I'm going to give you guys some homework because we've got a few more things to get through. I want you to go to Google Trends and Google the term that you think people are looking for. Matter of fact, all of you geniuses gave me your terms when I asked you what's the one thing you want people to know. So I want you to do that same thing. Professional, honest mover. I want Amber to go ahead and put that in Google Trends. Honest mover. See what comes up. I want you to look at the terms that you use or that you want to use and see what comes up in Google Trends. You might find that that term is completely flat, like lifestyle coach. It doesn't mean that you can't use it, but it does mean that you want to use the other term too. So if Tasia, as an example, is going to have a website about her business, then she is going to make sure she uses life coach as her title, even though she might use the term lifestyle in describing what she does. Do you see what we're doing there? So we're using the term that everyone uses to describe what you do, but then you can use all of those other phrases that make you feel good or that are really beautifully descriptive. You can use those terms in the other portions of your text, okay? I think you guys got what I'm doing there. Now, the next thing you want to do, that's the first thing is the first thing. Please go do that stuff. Look at your website. Read the words on your website. If the words on your website do not describe both what you do and who you do it for very clearly and gives them a path forward to get more information immediately, if your website doesn't do that, those are the things that you got homework to work on immediately. After that, like if you can pass that test pretty quickly, like I think I'm gonna forget your name now because life, Nuria. Nuria has maybe 1 or 2 tweaks to this homepage and she's off to the races, right? So once she gets those 1 or 2 tweaks done, now she needs to worry about some of the other things that are going to make her website a little bit more competitive in that search, like having a website that loads very quickly. So when I went to Nuria's website, I didn't even type it in. I just copied and pasted it into the internet. It came up immediately. That is a good thing. Some of us, even me, if you go to my website, it takes a few seconds for it to load, a few more seconds than it probably should. You want to make sure that your website has a fast load time because more than 50% of people are using their phone to go to your website, more than 50. And what happens if it takes too long for a website to load up on your phone? Somebody tell me what happened. What happens if it takes too long for a website to load up? I want to hear y'all say it. They leave. Yes, Robert. Yes, or you go back to search like a child. You're like, I don't know. they go right back to the search as if you hadn't already landed on the answer. When it takes too long, you leave. Either you go back to the search or you swipe over to Instagram or you do whatever it was you were doing before. We all do that. We just leave. So you want to make sure your website is loading very fast. You also want to make sure that your website works on every browser, because you might be a Safari user and you are all about that Apple life. But despite what Apple tells y'all, they are not the majority OS in the world. They are not. So if you are not operating or making sure that your website operates on Chrome and on Firefox and on Bing, because there are people who use Bing primarily. If your website does not work on those platforms, or worse, if it doesn't work on people's phones, then you're really losing them. I will give you my ridiculous example of this. I had an advertisement coming for this dress. It was right before I was going on vacation. It was a couple of years ago. And I was like, okay, you've advertised this dress to me so many times because I clearly love it. Every time I see it, I stop for long enough for you to know I like it. So I will click on this dress. I clicked over to the website, prepared with my credit card to buy the dress. The website would not scroll. You know how you have to like swipe up a little bit in order to change the size, pick your size? It wouldn't scroll enough for me to pick my size. I left the website, X'd out, and went back because I was like, maybe my browser is broken. I gave them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe my browser is broken. Clicked on it again, went to it, that did it again. This was a glitch on their website. They were running an ad though. They were paying money for me to see the dress on my phone via Instagram, which is a phone-only platform. Literally, they were running an ad on my phone for me to go to their mobile website, and their mobile website didn't work. Yeah, the biggest waste of money I have ever heard of in my life. And so please don't be that person who is like, I'm sending people to my website, but my website doesn't work on their phone. Make sure your website works on people's phones. And there are ways to do this. So you don't, Nuria with the good questions. You do not have to search, like you don't have to go out there and buy a, PC if you have a Mac. Like you don't have to do anything close to that. There are tools that you can use that are going to help you determine whether or not your website is mobile friendly. First one is this one. I'm going to type it into the chat. I'm going to need Anita to give it to you guys, but Go Mobile Friendly. Go Mobile Friendly is a great website for you to see whether or not your website is mobile friendly. Google wants your website to be mobile friendly. And all you have to do is copy and paste your URL into that bar, and you will be able to find out whether or not your website is mobile friendly. So making sure that you're thinking mobile first is huge. And then additionally, Google Search Console, which is my favorite other tool. Like I love Google Trends. I love a lot of these tools because I actually use them. I'm not giving you tools that I don't use. And I have used them since before I was a Google coach. I knew about the Search Console and thought it was great. Also typing this in the chat for you guys. The Search Console is going to help you to look and see if your website is working on Bing or if it's working on Firefox. It'll actually tell you also if there are pages on your website that are broken, like links that are broken. So maybe like my issue with being able to change the scroll up so that I could see the different sizes. There are times where you go to someone's website and the little button that you click on, like you can swipe up and down, but the buttons don't work. And what Google Search Console does is it actually looks at your website on a regular basis to see what's working and what's not. And it gives you a report. And so you don't even have to worry about figuring it out. It will give you reports. It will report out to you. And if you have those reports coming to your inbox, you'll just get a nice little beautifully colored report to you. Like, I don't know. It kind of depends on how often you want to get them, but you can have that report delivered to your inbox. It's very simple. Now, I do want you all to do this. I want you to make sure that you are going out into the internet, searching for those words that we think people want, what they're looking for, and seeing how your business shows up. How does your business show up for those things? Now, there are at least a couple of people in here today who I have done this with, like I've done this with you, and some of you don't show up. Now, there's a few things that you can do to actually make yourself show up pretty quickly, even if you were just Googling the name of your own business. And the very first one is your Google business profile. Not going to spend a ton of time on this, but it is probably the easiest thing to accomplish that will take you the furthest with your business. This is what helps you end up with this little box here on the side of the screen. And if we look at the map here, coming back to my how did Ryan Mayer, ADHD life coach, get in here? The way he got in there was via the Google search or the Google business profile. That is how you get in there. Now, this used to be called Google My Business. So if you remember it by that name, that is the exact same thing. The difference is that now it is managed on the map. So you don't have to have a separate app for it or anything like that. It's managed on the map. This has the ability for you to edit just about everything that someone can see about your business. Just about everything. It is amazing what it can do. And so what you want to do, so back at the very beginning when I said, if you are a ADHD life coach, or if you are a ASD life coach, or if you are a life coach for women in transition over 40, whatever the thing is that you are a life coach for, you would want to make sure that in your business description and in your business info, you are spelling it out for people, because this information here gets found by Google immediately versus the iSchool website. So we've got Nuria's website here. Nuria is going to go make a couple changes to her website. She's going to make this website a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. Every time she does that, though, it takes Google a minute. And by a minute, I mean however long it takes for them to register those changes and to start serving her up for those changes. Versus your Google business profile, if you change this, those changes show up pretty much immediately, because you're changing it directly for Google. So you're not just changing it for quote unquote the internet in general. No. It is your Google business profile. You're changing it with and for Google immediately. So if you have a business where, let's say you decide you're going to go on vacation for a week, you can actually change your Google business profile's hours so that you're unavailable for the next week. You can put up special hours and they will show up immediately. It is amazing. If you know that you're going to be late opening the shop, you can change your hours on the Google business profile immediately so that people know that you're going to be there at 10:30, so that if someone Googles you in order to get your location and they show up and they're like, I thought this business opens at 9. What's the first thing they're going to do? They're going to look it up. And when they look it up, they're not going to go to your website. They're going to type the name of your business into the internet. The internet is going to pull up your Google business profile. And if you've changed your date, your time that you open, they'll see, oh, she doesn't open until 10:30 today. Magic. It's amazing. So amazing. And on top of that, Google is smart, as we all know. When you have a Google business profile and you update it with posts, messages, reviews, what does Google now know about your business? It knows that your business is active and engaged and happening in the real world right now. Now, why is that important? Because there are thousands of businesses that are no longer in existence that have Google business profiles, and they never closed them. They never did anything to them whatsoever. So those are dormant profiles that are being delivered potentially to people. And so what do you think Google is going to do? If your profile is active and clearly you are in business, clearly you are a life coach who is doing business right now because you just posted on your Google business profile an image or a post about an offer that you have, or a post about an event that you're doing, or whatever it was that you posted about, what are they going to know about your business? They're going to know that you're still in business. And so you want to make sure that you're posting to your Google business profile pretty regularly, just if nothing else, just to raise your hand to Google and say, hey, yo, I'm still in business. Because yes, businesses go out of business all the time. They close up shop for good and bad. It doesn't even matter. But if they're doing that, then some of them are out there with these Google business profiles that are competing on the map for your business. They're competing against you. And one of the best things you can do is update your profile so that Google knows that you are real, you exist, and you're doing work right now, right? So keeping that profile updated is huge. And yes, if you are using a third-party posting software like Hootsuite, a lot of them do post your Google business profile. So you don't even have to be there posting all the time. You can actually schedule your post out just like you would any other platform and make your life easy. Just amazing. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that you actually have a profile. And if for some reason you don't, let's say you don't, like you're Tanisha Taylor, and I want to make this map bigger so that we can see her profile. So we're Tanisha Taylor. We've got this coaching business. We've got this profile. If for some reason this profile was yours, you're Tanisha, and you're like, this is full, but this information is wrong, right? Maybe you are no longer at Darrow or whatever. There is a spot where you can claim your profile. Now, this profile has been claimed, so this spot is not there, but there's a spot right here at the top before you even scroll down that says, claim this, or is this profile yours? So before you go out there and start a brand new Google business profile, you do want to search for your business and search hard. Type every variation of your name that you can think of, scroll all the way out in the map to make sure that you're not there anywhere before you go and start a profile, because sometimes there's an old profile that has been created. Let me see if Roses does. There might be an old profile that has been created. I'm not seeing the little claim thing that will be out there that you didn't make, that you can claim. That is yours. It's about your business. So you always want to make sure it's your business. But if you haven't yet, search it out, see if it's possible that you have something out there already that you can just claim. Now, if I have a Google business profile, do you have to have it linked to a website, or have your website be WordPress? No, you do not. That is a good question. You could have a basic website. Matter of fact, you don't even really have to have a website linked on your Google business profile. You can just have your hours that you have in business, your location, whether that's a geographic area or a specific address. That's all you need. That's all you really need. Okay, so I'm going to talk about advertising for absolutely 2 seconds. I'm actually going to skip this video. It's about Jam. It's a lovely video. If you want to skip the line, so let's say you are Tanisha Taylor and you want to show up first. You're like, why am I not the first person on the list? You want to show up before I even scroll. You want to be on the list. The thing that you would want to do is ads, because ads are going to make you significantly more likely to show up. The thing is, ads are just like everything else. You still have to know what people are searching for. The good thing is that with Google Ads, you can control everything. You can control how much it costs. You can control when they start, when they stop, how much per day you spend. If you just get really uncomfortable with the amount, you can stop the ads at any point. It's amazing what you can control. And there's even a thing called Smart Campaigns that makes it so easy for you to start your ads. It's crazy. Just immediately get started with ads. There's a checklist. You do not need that right now, but I would say the most important thing, because I'm not going to go through everything with advertising. The most important thing is knowing what those keywords are. Those are hugely important, because with keywords, those are going to be the thing that actually get you found. On top of that, matching your keywords to the locations that people are searching for, very, very useful. Okay. Now, let me answer Leslie's question. Yes. So if you have a business, so Leslie's asking if your business is not brick and mortar. So maybe you are a business like a life coach, where you are not, maybe you're a life coach who has people who come to you virtually. As you can see here, Life Coach Near Me, there's all these people who are coming up, and not all of them are working out of their house. Some of them have service areas. Some of them have specific locations. It just depends. So when I look at the different options, we see if, there we go. We got Angie. Angie immediately is coming up, and Angie is online booking. There we go. Her services are online. She has her website button right there. That is how you get in contact with her. But no, there is no address. As you see here, there's no address. She serves the United States. There you go. So you do not have to have a specific, I would say saying you serve the United States is not the answer, but you need to have something relatively specific in there, like Ohio. I say that the majority of business owners, even if you serve quote unquote everyone, the majority of your customers are still coming from a specific place. So that might be the state of Ohio. It might be Cuyahoga County. It might be a combination of Cuyahoga, Stark, and Lake counties, but it's going to be somewhere very close by. Okay. So 3 ways to appear. We've talked about all 3 of them: organic search, ads, and your business profile. You want to be using all of them. You want to have your website showing up. You want to have your Google business profile showing up. And eventually, when you are ready, you want to do ads, but not 1 second before you are ready. Now, before we leave, before I let you all go, I want to know, what are you going to do with all this information? What's your next step? What is the thing that you are going to do? Because you know, if you've been here for longer than 10 minutes, you know that I care about you doing something for your business. So what is it that you're going to do? What's the thing that you're going to do next? And if you want, I would love to know what you learned too. Like, tell me what you got out of it. Because I want to know that you got something out of this workshop. I love that. Fix your homepage and figure out. Yes, Nuria, the console is not hard. I promise you, it's not that difficult at all. If you already have Google Analytics, it's going to take that long to set it up. It's very simple. Try Google Trends. Yes, Rochelle, I like it. David, research. Research is good. Research first. I'm okay with a little research. Okay. Okay, well, yes, then get Google Analytics set up first and then do your Google Search Console. There you go. There you go. Irma, okay, you're going to get started with that website. Irma, the next workshop, I want to see you dropping a link in the chat to your website because I want to see it. And don't think I'm not going to remember you, because I will. So next time, Irma, I want to see your website. Okay, yes, post on that Google business profile. Yes. Get something out there. Make sure that Google knows that you are still a person who is in business, okay? Do I see AI changing any of this? Tom, that is a really good question. I feel like the answer is AI is already changing this, mostly because if you go to do Google Ads right now, even before AI was popular, when you would go to do your Google Ads, it would actually take your landing page and it would comb the words out of your page and give you an entire set of suggested keywords and suggested phrases for your ads. It's amazing. Now, your website has to be good in order for that to happen. And so you have to make sure that the content on your website is good. So what I hope is going to happen, Tom, is that more people are going to listen to what I just said and say, okay, Bard or ChatGPT, they're going to ask the internet to help them write content that's really good for a specific customer. That's what I think is going to happen. And then that means that those of us who do that, those of us who are prepared, thinking in advance, doing our research, are going to be the ones who win, because we're going to have really well-written websites that serve up exactly what people want, right? Exactly. Okay. Oh, I love that. You know what, Amber? The other key ingredient, the one that we didn't talk about here, is time. Because as much as, we can have all of our 90 our ducks in a row, time and exposure. So once you get all of your ducks in a row, the other thing that I will advocate for a lot is using social media to send people to your website. And when I say that, I mean all of the socials, including the search socials like Pinterest. It's another workshop for another day, but it is a really good way to send people to your website, because the other thing Google needs to know, they need to know what the words say, but they also want to know what people's interest levels are. And the only way it can get that is if it gets people onto your website. So sending people to your websites is it's hugely important. So I already gave you a ton of research. If you're into this sort of thing, you might want to snap a picture of this slide so that you can get an idea of what all the different resources are, okay? You guys are great. Thank you all so much. You're so helpful. And if you want to watch another workshop like this, head over to YouTube, or if you want to watch this exact workshop again, it's on the SCORE YouTube channel, and we love it. when you guys go over there and watch our workshops. So head over to the SCORE website, our SCORE on YouTube, and watch our website, our workshops there. If you are in the market for a certification, Google is actually offering certification scholarships right now. Head over to the grow.google/certificates, see what's available, see what website, what certificates are available. Oh no, Leslie, only in that you might want to be specific about the who. Just get specific about who. That's always the answer. And if you want more training just in general about, like, you know, you have students and teachers that you interact with, if you're Nuria, or if you have a location-based business like the landscapers, or if you know people who are job seeking like the life coaches, there's all of these resources that you can have access to help your customers as well. Okay, I think that's it.
Okay, let me mention that the recorded workshops are also on our website. So
Yes.
by probably early next week, they will be, and the previous ones that we've recorded are also on our website. So
Good.
if you just go to our website, you'll be able to find not only Lindsay's recorded webinars, but lots of other ones as well.
Awesome.
So wonderful session, as usual. Thank you so much. And I hope everybody who will implement all of those wonderful things that you've given them ideas about. And I'm sure they'll all be back for the next webinar. And I'm not sure when it is, but it's on our calendar. So thank you again. Have a good evening, everybody.